Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Redlund. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Clario Analytics. My pleasure to speak to you this afternoon. Clario Analytics is a predictive analytics and business process optimization company. We have a professional services team, and we wrap those professional services powered by mathematicians, statisticians, and operations researchers around the new Clario OnDemand analytics platform. The platform The Clario platform is a general purpose predictive analytics, statistical analysis, data manipulation platform. The company was founded by a group of present company excluded really smart database marketers and statistical analysts. When we were going through the build versus buy decision for the product, we really came up to a situation where we had to decide, as all companies do, on a narrow market focus. The market focus, as we define it, as IDC presents it, we see SAS and SPSS as our primary competitors. You look at IDC's definition of this market space, about $1.5 billion market. SAS and SPSS are the two general analytics platforms that are presented here. The market's growing very fast, about 13% a year, and it's greater than the rate of the general BI query and reporting market that surrounds it. You have to take this with a grain of salt because this is an economist that's talking here, but Hal Varian, the chief economist from Google, talks about the sexy profession in the next 10 years being statisticians. So with that in mind, the point of bringing that up is that statistical analysis is going to be a major force, and it primarily has to do with the explosion of digital data. This is the market space in which we're operating, and I'll come back to that in a few moments. IBM gave us a nice piece of validation around the market. They presented in April, and they decided to create a business optimization group. They're going to build it up to about 4,000 analysts. We see this as a good external data point for our organization. And then they followed up acquiring SPSS in July of this year for about $1.2 billion in cash, and that was about 4 times their revenue in a declining market share and about a 42% premium to the prior day's market close. So when we looked at this marketplace, these are all the kind of ways that we look at it and how it wraps together the nice story of the place in which we're operating. But that build versus buy decision that I was talking about, it really came down to the time we were building it was late 2006, early 2007. We really wanted to look at how we could present this platform and the 3 key technologies. You guys are all familiar with SAS. That was sort of the first SIIA OnDemand conference was taking place. Adobe Flex was released that summer, 2.0, which is what mattered for us, giving us this great rich user interface, much more like desktop applications. And of course, you guys are all familiar with Amazon Web Services. Predictive analytics is one of those things, one of those technologies which really fits well with the cloud. The computational horsepower that's required is spiky in its demand, and this dynamic environment scales up and down as needed to deliver on that capability. What does that let you do as an analyst? That lets you run multiple jobs simultaneously. You put your data into Clario, you can run multiple workflows simultaneously. You can really crank through a lot more work on a single seat of the Clario application than you could in a traditionally deployed software environment. The user interface, we had to look for a way, given the way that the application is going to be deployed and the environment that Hal Varian described where it's going to be growing, we think it's going to be growing down market. Not as many statisticians are going to be out there as there is demand for the work. And so we went with a visual development environment, workflow like, where you drag and drop nodes and you stream data one row at a time from one node to the other. It's an extensible node library. These are the 22 that we've built so far and put out on the application. 2 other things to point out on this. One is that customers are now asking us for the creation of custom algorithms, custom nodes that they can use within their organization. And the other thing is the aspiration of a node store, where other vendors that create algorithms can deploy those algorithms via this platform. Collaboration is a given in the cloud, in most cases, and in our case as well. The product allows for analysts, and we have a user currently who has an analytic organization in India and China, reflecting the representation of mathematics and statistical education in those countries, who are able to collaborate with a US-based consulting presence. It's $298 a month per seat for the application. We sell it on a named user basis. And you buy it, it's like much like the cloud, it's a flashback to mainframe. You sort of buy computational horsepower, and you pay on a usage-based model. Clario Stream is our first vertical application that sits on top of this framework. It's a multi-channel contact optimization system, averages about $500,000 a year, and we have 6 of those customers on board now. Analytic Web Services is something that's been pushed on us by a couple of beta partners. They don't care as much about the user interface, but they really want to deliver to their customers via their interface the analytic capabilities of Clario. So they're accessing our infrastructure on the cloud to process their own data via RESTful web services. So we have the modest and very unique mission for this audience, which is to do to SAS and SPSS what Salesforce did to Siebel. The adoption has been very interesting, exciting for us. We've got over 700 individuals and companies who have now signed up for the 30-day free trial of Clario, and we have 20% of the top 100 multi-channel retailers who are now using the solution, and we have an aggressive roadmap which we really look to keep us ahead in the market in this space. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to talking to you outside.